Sizzle starts and chocolate flakes.
Cheers!
Fresh
Cheers!
ingredients, love is the end. Nourish your body, feel so fine. Healthy living every time.
Welcome to Dancing in the Kitchen, a cooking show with a twist. Today we are celebrating American foods, and boy, do I have a delicious menu for you today. In fact, it's so delicious that I am hungry just thinking about it. We are going to be visiting some American classics, but with a healthier twist. We're going to be making Boston baked beans with date barbecue sauce. And homemade ketchup with carrot dogs. That's right, this is an alternative to hot dogs. For those of you who aren't eating the meat, you wouldn't believe how much we can make this carrot taste like a hot dog. That's a great segue into our new segment, Folklore, cooking at the culinary crossroads of culture and history. Have you heard of the phrase, spilling the beans? It's when someone accidentally divulges information prematurely. Well, here's where the phrase comes from. In ancient Greece, voting was cast by putting beans into pots. And if someone spilled the pot and the beans scattered, then they would have prematurely divulged who had won the election. So that's where we get the phrase, spilling the beans. And now for our segment, let's get saucy. What sauce are we going to make today? My favorite, a date barbecue sauce. This is a wonderful sauce to add to all the things you usually have barbecue sauce with. I personally like to use it with sweet potato fries seasoned with sumac. We're going to put some of it into our Boston baked beans today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fry an onion as well as a couple cloves garlic in olive oil. About 2 tablespoons olive oil. And here we go, our onion. And we're gonna let it cook until it browns. And we're gonna add some cloves of garlic. And I'm just going to put it on top for now. We don't want the garlic against the pan because it will burn. Some other ingredients we're adding, well, we're going to be using dates. I love this. We're going to chop about a half a cup dates. I'm going to roughly chop this because we will be blending it, putting it in a food processor. After this cooks down, we'll be adding the spices. So we have some cumin, some smoked paprika, some salt, and some chili flakes. Use your intuition, but for the exact amounts, you can find this recipe on our Dance and Dish Patreon platform. We will also be adding about a half a cup plus 1 teaspoon water and a fourth of a cup balsamic vinegar. I happen to have some vinegar that's smoked hickory balsamic vinegar, which is perfect for a barbecue sauce. I recommend using red onion for this sauce. I happen to have a white one, that's okay. We're going to add our spices. Smells good. We're going to add our dates. Our vinegar. our water. Smells good. And we're going to let it simmer for a little while, not too long. The dish of the day is Boston baked beans, vegan style, without the salted pork. That is usually part of the recipe. I'm using an 11-inch. If you have a 10 or 11-inch skillet, that is perfect, especially one that goes in the oven. You don't have to do it in the oven. Baked beans, they're not usually done in the oven anymore, not often. They're often done on the stovetop, but perhaps because of the alliteration, the name baked beans has stuck. So the first thing we're going to do is fry up some onion and garlic. So we're going to add some olive oil. We're going to add some onion. And we're going to add garlic. We're also going to add a little salt and sugar, a teaspoon each. And use whatever kind of sugar, if you like coconut sugar, I like to use coconut sugar for most things. Brown sugar would be very traditional because of the rum trade that was going on. They had access to molasses and sugar. Let that cook down a little bit. You want to cook onion until it's translucent, at least, if not browned. The browning, that's called the Maillard effect, and that really brings out that sweet caramelly flavor and makes it less oniony. Next, we're adding the beans. If you make your own beans, that is best, but in lieu of that, use canned beans. It's always good to get beans in your diet however you can get them in because of their fiber content. We need 35 grams roughly a day of fiber. A traditional bean to use would be navy beans, but any white bean works. Baked beans, funny enough, were considered a luxury item, canned baked beans. And they were sold, Heinz produced them and sold them to England. Many people know that baked beans are an important staple of English breakfast, baked beans and toast, and they were considered a luxury item. We will be adding some sage and lavender. If you have fresh sage, go ahead and add it. Today I have some powdered sage. Just eyeball it. You don't want too much sage though, it's kind of a strong flavor. And same with the lavender, so that's kind of an interesting addition. All right, we're going to be adding 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. This is also traditional to the Boston style. 2 tablespoons molasses, and I am definitely going to eyeball this. 1. Oh, that was maybe a little bit more. Ah! Okay, delicious. And this is going to give it that distinct flavor. Molasses is so good for you. It's really high in minerals. It's a great source of iron. And the blackstrap in particular, that's the most concentrated of all these minerals. Another quintessential American dish that would be served with beans would be cornbread. And this really was a colonial dish because the native people of the Americas did not make corn into bread. It's really an adaptation in the New World from wheat bread because wheat wasn't able to be grown very easily in North America. All right, we're going to be adding broth, 2 cups. If you made your beans from dried, you can reserve some of that water and re-add it at this point, or use some vegetable broth. And this is going to give it that soupy consistency that's so nice. And now the only thing we have left to add is that date barbecue sauce. So let's see how it's doing. That looks delicious. I'm going to let it cool for a moment and then add it to the food processor with about 4 tablespoons of olive oil. And 2 tablespoons of this date barbecue sauce. So you can keep cooking this on the stovetop until it gets thicker. You also can put it in the oven and bake it and get a nice brown on top. So that's another option. It's a really hot day today, so I'm going to leave my oven off. I'm sorry, Heinz, but homemade is best. You don't have all the sugar and other stuff that you don't want to be eating in store-bought ketchup. Did you know ketchup originally was not made with tomatoes at all? It was a fish sauce from China and Indonesia. It was called ketchup. And that went to England where they turned it into a mushroom sauce. So ketchup was mushroom. And then it wasn't until ketchup came to North America and Heinz had this incredible marketing campaign around it that ketchup became tomato-based. So there you go, some fun facts about ketchup. But today we're definitely doing the tomato version. We're using 1 cup of tomato sauce. I guess I was preheating that a little much. So that's just tomatoes. That's it. We are going to use 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And that's going to make it nice and thick. And then we're adding 2 tablespoons apple cider vinegar and 1 tablespoon maple syrup. Here's our apple cider vinegar and 1 tablespoon maple syrup. Oh, there we go. That's going to give it a little sweetness and a little sour. Now we have garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and paprika. A 1/2 teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder, and 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon paprika. Well, that's it. That's it for the tomato sauce. We're just going to let it cook for 5 to 8 minutes and then let it cool. And there you have it. In this segment we call Swap It, we are going to swap out an unhealthy ingredient for a healthy ingredient. Hot dogs. I know that they invoke fond memories of childhood and summer with the family and barbecues, and they taste so good. But the thing is, we really want to be avoiding processed foods. So this is a fascinating alternative to a hot dog that, believe it or not, you might just enjoy. It's a carrot dog. It's all about the marinade. First, you're going to take some carrots and you are going to steam them We want them so that they're soft enough to prick with a fork, but we don't want them to be falling apart. Now we're going to make our marinade. And this is something you want to do at least 4 hours ahead of time, if not the day before. The longer you marinate it, the better flavor it will have. First of all, we are going to use 1 cup vegetable broth, 1/4 cup apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons maple syrup, 2 tablespoons tamari. I love using shot glasses for spices and little bits when you're preparing a meal. Cheers. We're adding a dash of liquid smoke, so that would be about 1/8 of a teaspoon. Next, we're going to be adding 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika and 2 teaspoons dried mustard. And this is finely granulated mustard. Next, we're adding 1/2 teaspoon each of coriander, garlic powder, and onion powder. We're adding some cloves, just a little dash of cloves. So here's our marinade for carrot hot dogs. After you cook your carrots so that they're prickable with a fork, you're going to put them in here and let them marinate for, at a minimum, 4 hours, but even better, overnight or 24 hours. Okay, it's time to do our hot dogs. I already have some here that have been marinating since yesterday. So you can put these right on the barbecue, or you can grill them on your home grill, or whatever, however you would make a hot dog. I am going to do them in my pan here, a little bit of oil. And here we go. All right, so our carrot dogs are done. And I'm going to take one of them. Ooh, nice and brown and charred. I have bread today, sourdough bread instead of a hot dog bun, so just pretend it's a hot dog bun. And now you can add all your favorite toppings that you normally add. You can add some sauerkraut or horseradish or mustard. And you can add those baked beans because that's going to make you feel fuller, since this is actually a vegetable and not a hot dog. And also the homemade ketchup. So here we are. We have our beautiful Boston baked beans. We have our date barbecue sauce. We have our homemade ketchup. And I'm going to add some of the ketchup to the carrot dog, along with a little bit of sauerkraut, because any reason to eat sauerkraut is good for me. And this is really not very attractive what I'm doing, but that's okay. I'm so excited to have my little carrot dog here because I'm so hungry prepping for all this food. It smells so good. It's really good. The spices, the flavorings like a hot dog, and the texture is as well. Thank you for joining us today on Dancing in the Kitchen. I hope you got a lot of delicious, healthy ideas for your summer cookout barbecue. And remember, find us on Patreon, Dance and Dish, for the full recipes.
Healthy living made easy. We cook it up and keep it breezy. From your kitchen to your plate, good vibes get away. Healthy living made easy. Taste the joy, it's all so cheesy.
Want to learn more about products featured on Dancing in the Kitchen? Visit danceanddish.com to get in touch, or join the Dance and Dish community on Patreon for behind-the-scenes content